Hi, this is Amy. I need you guys to call me. Kadira got a burn, and um, she's okay, but there is a little blistering, and I think she wants to go home. In fact, I know she wants to go home. So could you just give us a call? I need to talk to you. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Hi, I'm Renee.
And I'm Krillin.
Welcome back to our channel.
And tonight I'm going to, first of all, address a couple of questions we've seen in the comments. There are some people who are saying that, maybe this was just an accident. So we're going to get into the details of what occurred later on down the road. But just so people understand what Todd and Amy actually said happened was that they were playing Little House on the Prairie. They asked our daughter and their daughter to get naked, and then Todd went and boiled up a tea kettle on the stove and brought it down to his wife and handed it to her, and then she burned Kadira. So that's basically the story they told. They said she was standing on the lip of the tub and Kadira was trying to get away from Todd, and she fell into the tub and Amy burned her. So that's kind of the short story of what happened. So just to give some clarity to that. And then did you have something to say, honey?
Well, I just wanted to say that according to the child abuse laws, and we didn't understand this at the time, child abuse isn't determined by whether or not it was an accident. It's determined by the amount of damage or the damage done to the child.
It's not based on the intent of the adult. Although this situation is a little bit different because these people actually said they were playing a game. So the game was Little House on the Prairie. That's what they told.
So this is a game where they injected a lethal weapon into the game. So that's I'm pretty sure. Well, actually, as we get into it, you'll see. But this was definitely child abuse. So while the hospitals were mandatory reporters, we were young at the time, younger, and we didn't understand that the hospitals were mandatory reporters and they were supposed to call DHS and the police.
And also her school was a mandatory reporter. So this incident was reported to Portland Public Schools. This incident was reported to a couple of different attorneys. And then this incident was obviously reported to two hospitals and several doctors.
So why the police? Now, we didn't call the police at the time. We were traumatized. They actually gave us Kadira to deal with her actual medical care, which she should have been hospitalized. We're going to get into that.
And we didn't have a lot of time to think about it because obviously our ER visit was 17 minutes. So
with that, actually, we should just go ahead and get into what should have happened.
So I have some information from the World Health Organization. First of all, according to the World Health Organization, burns greater than 15% in an adult and then greater than 10% in a child, or any burn occurring in the very young or elderly, are serious. Any burn. Her burn was diagnosed at 10 to 20% the night she was burned, and then 10 to 19% the next day. So obviously this was a fatal injury for her. The burns patient has the same priorities as all other trauma patients. So
potentially fatal because she didn't die, but
I think in most situations probably
she was mortally wounded.
Death would have been the outcome. But anyways, the standard of care is to assess airway, breathing, circulation, disability, and exposure. So breathing, beware of inhalation and rapid airway compromise. Circulation, fluid replacement. She did not receive that. Disability, compartment syndrome. I'm not sure what that means, honestly. And exposure, percentage area of burn, which was never fully determined because obviously they didn't spend very much time with her. And then the essential management points are to stop the burning. This was not done. And then A, B, C, D, E, which is to, again, assess airway, breathing, circulation, disability, exposure, which they did not do. And then determine the percentage area of the burn. You use the rule of nines. We can talk about that later if people are interested in that. It's kind of how you figure out how big the burn is, considering the size of the person's body. And then good IV access and early fluid replacement is very important, and Kadira received none of that. And then the severity of the burn is determined by burn surface area, depth of burn, and other considerations. So there was no consideration of any of that night, the night she was burned, or in the following days. And then I just want to highlight burn management, World Health Organization, once again, for those of you who, say you believe in science. Well, the science says Kadira needed to be hospitalized. So
at least.
Yeah, well, she needed to be hospitalized. So hypothermia is a particular risk in young children. The first 6 hours following injury are critical. And I want to highlight this because Kadira was released from the emergency room with no treatment plan. The treatment plan was blank. And then I also want to highlight another point, which is if the patient arrives at the health facility without first aid having been given, drench the burn thoroughly with cool water to prevent further damage and remove all burned clothing. Well, obviously she arrived naked in a towel, but they did not drench the wound. So nothing was done to stop the burning. Nothing was done to stabilize our child. The hospitals didn't do anything except for give her a huge vial of Motrin and hand her to her father, and then we were told to go home and manage this.
And they made sure to determine that this was an accident in their report.
Exactly, but they did no investigation.
But there was no investigation, and it was not the job of the doctors or any of the medical personnel to do an investigation. That should have been done by DHS and the police, which is why they were supposed to be called.
And you can't do an investigation in 17 minutes. You can't do an investigation in 25 minutes.
You can barely do anything in 17 minutes.
Right. Like I've said, you can't even take a poop in 17. Well, some people can't take a poop in 17 minutes. So I'm just saying not much got done in the days following the incident.
So what it actually seems like is both medical establishments tried to kill her because her life was in mortal danger. And they knew that. Both of the hospitals knew that. Every single doctor, every single medical personnel that was dealing with her knew that she was mortally injured. And they just told us to get out of the hospital.
And one other thing I want to address, because it's another thing that I've seen in the comments, is some of you are maybe wondering, is this medical malpractice? Well, I just want to be very clear right now that we were unable to hire an attorney to address any of this. But specifically, we did, and we'll get into this
with
in
the
more.
Hospitals.
Right. We will get into this down the road in other videos, but we did pursue the hospitals by ourselves, pro se in court, and basically what the court said is the hospitals did nothing wrong, and they threw everything out. We even asked for them to give our daughter proper representation, and they said no. So
we also went to the Oregon Medical Board, and they also said that the hospitals didn't do anything wrong.
Right. And we've also written all of our elected officials. So I just want to be clear, we have taken steps to try to resolve this matter, and this matter has not been resolved.
Not at all. Which is why we're out here in front of you, because something is clearly
very, very wrong, and it needs to be resolved. So we're going to end this video here, and then we're going to talk more about what happened in the following days in the next video. And we hope you will come back and join us, because this is a very important issue for this entire country. Thank you.
Thank you.